Good morning, folks, and welcome back to another seismic coverage video, earthquakes, update, etc. on the Royal and Wire 54 channel. I'm going to put this up above me here. Hope y'all having a fantastic morning. It is currently 9:11 a.m., Friday, the 5th of March 2021. We need to talk about the ongoing situation in terms of the earthquakes near New Zealand, north and east of New Zealand. We need to talk about this situation. We need to talk about preparedness. We need to talk about what we could be talking about for the future in terms of where these earthquakes could start moving next. So you notice around here there's been a fair bit of activity over the last few days and a very big ring up and around here, and I'm drawing in black, and that is a bad choice. You can see there's been a fair bit of activity going up and along here north and east of New Zealand, which notably, I said in my last video that I did on this, we really needed a big one to start the energy transfer, and here's our big one. 8.1 magnitude updated on the Richter scale, striking north and west of New Zealand, bringing some pretty significant impacts to the region. So I'll shift back here. If we take a look, if we zoom in to this particular region, and I'll go largest magnitude first, 8.1 near the Kermadec Islands of New Zealand. Now, this is right along the boundary line for this particular plate, and it goes through New Zealand, and most of the earthquakes have been occurring north and west of New Zealand, which is good news. However, the majority of the impact of this earthquake was still felt. It's an 8.1. It's the strongest we've had in years. I believe since 2015. It's something that we haven't seen in a fair bit of time, and it was felt all over. It was felt all over. It was felt from New Zealand to Australia, up and around to Fiji too. It was felt all over, and if I come back to my application here, that ring up and around here is a pretty good explanation of where people might have felt it. So that ring extends all the way out towards the west coast of Australia, potentially even up towards Hawaii right over here. So, strongest earthquake we've had in many years. It's something that we're going to have to monitor as well for these kinds of earthquakes to start shifting up and away, maybe, to either direction. So, these also all occurred. Try and remember the last time where we had 3 strong earthquakes occur at separate times. So 7.3 occurred at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or that would be 13:30 UTC yesterday. The 7.4, which was a fair bit deeper, the 7.4 occurred at 17:40 UTC, and then the big one occurred at 19:30 UTC, or 14:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I had to go out, and I missed it right as it happened. But what we've been talking about in the previous video was the threat for a stronger earthquake in these areas, and the fact that we really needed a stronger earthquake to start the energy transfer. Well, we have a strong, shallow earthquake, 19 kilometers, very shallow for a strong earthquake of this magnitude. Here starts the energy shift. So now what we need to watch going into the next few weeks, to potentially months, is where the energy starts to shift. So if we start to see earthquakes move up and along this way, or do we start to see them shift down and curling? If they start to shift down and curling, Chile and the west coast of South America is going to need to be on watch. If they start to shift up towards the north and west, Indonesia, Japan, those areas are going to need to be on watch for stronger earthquakes. Eventually, what we're going to end up with is a situation of stronger earthquakes beginning to occur along the North American coastlines of Alaska, California, Oregon, Washington, Mexico, Baja, etc. We're going to have to start to really, I don't want to say normalize, but the threat for stronger earthquakes is going to become higher and higher in these areas. You're going to have to take into account the fact that if this activity is happening down here and not happening up here while it's happening over, because remember, a few weeks back, 7.1 along Japan, and we're getting consistent 5s and 6s along the coast of Chile and the coast of South America. The time has come. The time is nigh The North American coastline has gotten some stronger earthquakes. They got a 7.1 over the summer, if I recall correctly. The North American coastline is overdue. And looking around now at the stronger action that's happening around us, at the stronger the stronger quakes that have been happening around us that aren't in these areas, that these areas are overdue. And I hate to say it that way, but you could be expecting a strong earthquake of 6 to 7 along the California coastline, Alaskan coastline, British Columbia coastline. Could be expecting that within the next 2, 3, 4 weeks or so. The energy is going to start shifting around now that we've had the strong one occur. Now that the energy has started to really move, we're going to have to monitor. Does it move north and west, or does it move south and east? And if it moves south and east, South America is under the gun. If it moves north and west, the east coast of Asia is going to be under the gun. In terms of what you can do to prepare yourself for these kinds of impacts, always have the necessary supplies on you. Food, water, clothing, medication, phone chargers, toiletries, just stuff that you need in case an evacuation might be necessary, in case you're stuck in your area, surrounded by Lord knows what, but a worst case situation would be a good way to describe it. If you happen to be in that event, you always need to have those things on hand. And the thing is, California, over the past few years, has been so numbed at this stuff because they haven't gotten a lot of stronger quakes in the last few years. They've gotten some 4s and 5s, but that's pretty common around there. It's San Andreas. What they're not going to be expecting is when this stronger one actually occurs. And my concern here is that's going to catch everyone off guard, because not everyone looks at this every day like you and I do. Not everyone cares about this every day. Not everyone focuses on this to be a part of their daily life or whatever you have. But me knowing this is going to be significant when it occurs. And if people don't take action, they're going to screw themselves. And I say it that way. I say it that in the nicest way possible. If you don't take action here and you're not ready for when the stronger one actually begins to occur and shift up towards the California coastline, you're going to be screwed. Because realistically speaking, if you're not prepared for something like this, and Californians, all of them should be prepared for something like this. If you're not prepared for an earthquake of this magnitude, you're basically stuck when it occurs. So better be safe than sorry here. I said back in my video a couple weeks ago that we could be expecting a strong earthquake over the next week or two. That was back then. I was incorrect. That was wrong. At this point, now that we're starting to see the stronger quakes occur in the Kermadec Islands, that's a hard name for me to remember, and I don't know why. Now that we've seen the stronger quake occur in the Kermadec Islands, watch the energy transfers. If you're in areas like east of Asia, west of western South American coastlines, particularly Chile has gotten a lot. Mexico, California, the west coast of North America, west coast of South America, and the east coast of Asia, like Japan, etc., Indonesia. If you're in those areas, you're going to need to keep that in mind. You're going to need to be careful. You're going to have the necessary supplies with you if something does occur. Obviously, we're hoping for the best case scenario here, but there isn't much that we really can do to predict the timing of these. And if I could, I would. If I knew how to, I would, and that'll all come with time. I'll try and get better with this kind of stuff. But for right now, just better be safe than sorry. Have the necessary supplies with you, and just be ready for a strong earthquake whenever it might occur. This is going to wrap this video. This is a very short video, very, very not in-depth video. But I'm going to go over what's happening all over the country. All over the country? Wow. All over the not even that. All over the planet in terms of plate shifting and potentially pole shifting if we see this kind of activity begin to rather continue to occur over these areas and potentially in areas north and west, south and east, who knows. So I'll go more in depth to that. I'll go in depth with what's going on in Greece because they had a volcano erupt. They've had their fair share of stronger earthquakes in the last few days, but I'll also go on with what to expect for these areas of the Southwest Pacific, as well as areas in the Northwest Pacific, Northwest Pacific, Northeast Pacific, like the Northwest North America, like Northwest North America. That was hard to say for whatever reason. Northwest North America and West, South, and the West South American coastline. That's going to wrap it for this video. Thank you all so much for tuning into the seismic update. Again, this was very not in-depth, but I'm going to do another video probably today, probably tonight on more impacts in depth, what to expect. If you guys did enjoy this, please be sure to leave a like rating down below. I really do appreciate the support. Also, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new around here, and click the notification bell if you guys want to be notified every time I go live or post a new video of severe weather sorts, of winter weather sorts, of seismic sorts, of geology sorts, whatever I post. You'll be notified by it if you click that notification bell. And that'll do it for me. My name is Morgan J. Fullett, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace out.